Yes, if you fall off those handrails, it's going to hurt when you land on the ground. Alright, this looks like just about everyone. So how's everyone doing today? Alright, you folks can be louder than that. I'll try it again. How's everyone doing today? Good. Well, my name is Mitch, and I'm the doc is my assistant Meredith. Everyone say, hey, Meredith. Hey, Meredith. And we'd like to welcome you here to the Disney MGM Studios Backlot Tour. We're going to begin your tour right here in our special effects water tank. Now, water tanks like this continue to play a major role in action films. In the explosive out-of-control mayhem that you've seen, films like Crimson Tide, The Rock, and Pearl Harbor can all be created using large-scale physical and mechanical effects. The action is then filmed as a carefully planned sequence of events. Now today we're going to be filming our own action sequence called Harbour Attack, using some of the same special effects used by directors like Michael Bay in their film. In fact, here's Michael to set the scene for us.
In this scene, the patrol boat is on a surveillance mission, searching the skies for enemy aircraft. The crew is caught off guard when the real danger surfaces from beneath the sea. This is going to require a full range of physical effects, split-second timing, and careful direction. We have the lights, we have the cameras. All we need now is the action.
And if anyone knows serious action, it's certainly Michael Bay. Well, the special effects from your action sequence include water cannons, pressurized up to 100 pounds per square inch. We have bullet hits, which must be programmed in time to match continuity of the visual and eventually the pattern of the sound effects. And the last and probably most important special effect in a scene like this is fire, which must be ignited at a precise moment. Because it takes a lot of work and time to reset the charge of an explosion. But the number one consideration of these effects is safety for actors on set. And that's where you come in. Hi, what's your name? I wouldn't say, hey, Nitro. Alright, Nitro, you're just the cast or mechanic on a PT boat. Your scene takes place way down there in the engine room. It's okay. We recreated right over here, so if we follow Meredith, she'll get you the position. We're going to be filming 2 scenes today, but not only do they appear in our script. Now, many movies nowadays film out of sequence, which means the actor in the scene has to react to a certain situation that hasn't been filmed yet. It can be a real challenge. The job of directors is to help them find the motivation for that scene. Alright, Nitro, here's the setup. The phone right next to you is about to buzz. Just as 800 gallons of water dump out of those tanks, fly down that chute, and slam into you like a freight train. Feeling the motivation to hold on. Good! Because between me and you folks, it's actually 1,000 gallons of water. But there's a fine line between motivation and fear. Alright, Nitro, here we go. Roll playback. Remember, you just lost your engines. And action. Turn to your right. Check that engine. Now pick up the phone. Talk to the captain. Tell him you're in trouble. Tell him you're taking on just a little bit of water. And cut. That's why we call it a physical effect. Let's just give the next round of applause. Nitro, you did so great. We have another scene for you. I need you to sit there, look dramatically out to the audience, and act dry. We're going to add that shot to the next scene and see it all ties together in the final sequence. Our next scene takes place in Water Peak, but let's meet the rest of our parade crew now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a brave welcome to Captain Tracy and her loyal crew, Alan. The cast is on set and the crew is standing by.
Thank you, Meredith. All right, roll playback. Remember, crew, you're on a surveillance mission. And action. Captain, you hear a plane approaching. Use those binoculars, find that plane. What's this? Enemy fighter at 10 o'clock. You're shocked. You're starting to be trouble because here he comes from another run. Get that PT boat out of the captain. Spin the wheel. Deck crew, you're terrified. He's coming around again. Where is he? Oh, it's too late. He just shot out your engine. Captain, pick up the phone. Talk to the mechanic. Hey, deck crew. Yeah, deck crew, what's this off to the right? What's that out in the water there? Hey, it looks like an enemy torpedo. All right. You think it's all over. You begin to relax. You can take a deep breath. But just then you hear more planes approaching. You look up, point to the sky. You see enemy bombers at 12 o'clock. Bombs away, everybody. Hit the deck. Survive the aerial attack. But just then, 2 more torpedoes are coming in fast off the stern. They go into your boat. Everyone on the boat, point to the audience. Tell them to look out. And cut. Let's give a nice round of applause. We're going to put those 2 scenes together and see what they look and sound like. We add computer-generated images, a few lines of dialogue, and a musical score. So if you'll direct your attention over to monitors.
She's not. You gotta make a move. I can't. I get nervous. You want to jump on a helicopter. You're afraid to go talk to her.
Oh god, what's it called? The Guardian or something.
Oh, I'm gonna say we're already. Who is this guy? He's a legend. He's got something to say. He's such a savage. You know what I mean? One more time. We might have to decide who lives and who dies.
You might get just a little bit wet. If, however, you are seated on the left side of the shuttle, that is my right, and you are pointing and laughing at those folks on the right, you might get soaked. So if you'd like to now stand up and change places, this would be the time to do so, because once the shuttle is in motion, you are not permitted to stand up and change places. You are to remain seated at all times. Now, I'd like to officially welcome you to the second half of the Disney MGM Studios Backlot Tour. As I mentioned, my name is Jack. However, I am ably assisted this morning by our talented driver, and that's Joe right over there. And on the count of 3, I want you to say hi to Joe loudly. 1, 2, 3. Wonderful. Some pretty unusual and exciting things are going to happen out on our tour this morning, maybe something like that. Nevertheless, we want you to remain seated at all times. That is a courtesy to all the folks around who do not smoke. We do, however, encourage you to take as much film and video as you'd like, because you never know who or what you might see out on our tour. Now, kindly listen to these additional safety reminders.
Welcome aboard the Disney MGM Studios Backlot Tour. For a safe trip, please remain seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the tram. And be sure to watch your children. Thank you.
Bienvenidos. Para que tengan un viaje seguro, permanezcan sentados, con las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren. Y vigilen a los niños.
Now, the Disney MGM Studios is the Florida counterpart of the Walt Disney Studios in Burbank, California. I can think of no better way to start our tour than with the symbol of the Disney MGM Studios. If you look in front of this shuttle and high into the sky, you will see an award-winning Earful Tower. It has been modeled after the water tank that Walt Disney had built at his Burbank Studios in 1939. Ours stands a lucky 13-story size, capped off by 2 large Mickey Mouse ears, each of which weigh 5,000 pounds apiece. You could just imagine the size of the Q-tip that we need to clean those ears. If you look over to your left, you'll see a former parking lot, now being used as a staging and rehearsing area for our Extreme Sunshine Lights Motors action. If you look over to your left, those are the vehicles they use, those little red and yellow GTOs hiding behind the tires over there, selected for their legendary performance. And Pontiac let us have them for free. If you look over to your right, you'll see Tina the Elephant, and she was the star of Operation Dumbo Drop. She also co-starred with Brendan Fraser in George of the Jungle. Now, Disney MGM Studios, as the name implies, is a full working production center. We have sound stages, outdoor sets, state-of-the-art facilities, and even recording studios, and just about everything you could possibly want or need for the production of movies, television shows, and even radio programs. We've had movies here, for example, Instinct, Marvin's Room, Passenger 57 with Leslie Simon, Blow the Kid with Rick Moranis. We've had television shows here like Sheena ER, Wheel of Fortune starring Pat Sajak and Van Whitehand, Who Wants to Become a Millionaire? I do. If you look over to your right, you'll see 2 of the surviving P-40 aircraft from Touchstone Pictures' blockbuster hit, Pearl Harbor, starring Ben Affleck and Josh Hartnett. They have been taken from the mold of a real P-40 and then produced with fiberglass over a steel frame. Those wooden propellers were spun by hydraulic motors to give the aircraft realism when they were being shot at and blown apart during the dramatic attack sequence. Our production crew actually built 16 of these on a sound stage. The rest of the aircraft that you see in the film along the runways and in front of the hangars were built inside of the pier. Now, if you look high into the sky to your right now, you'll see as close a view as you're ever going to get to our Earful Tower. So if you'd like to snap a picture, this would be the time. We're now going inside the most glamorous part of our tour. It is the award-winning creative costume department. It all gets started with designer sketches, examples of which you may see on either wall. And then our seamstresses and vendors take those sketches and produce the final garments worn by our performers. Examples may be seen in the showcase to your left. Two include costumes from Deja Vu, also from Bridge to Terabithia. And that's the Philadelphia Eagles uniform from Invincible, starring Mark Wahlberg. And then the costumes from Wild Hogs, starring John Travolta, Tim Allen, and Bill Macy. And then the costumes from Guardians, starring Kevin Costner and Ashton Kutcher. You know, this is the world's largest working wardrobe, where 250 skilled professionals use 1.5 million yards of fabric to produce over 25,000 costumes each and every year, including the costumes in the showcase to your left from Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. Now we're passing through a property from the storage area. Look to your right, you see a whole bunch of tires. Well, I thought they're exciting, except to know that our front vehicles go through a set of tires every other show, and on a hot day like today, they go through a set of tires every show. To your left is our graphic studio, and following that on your left is our seating shop. And this is where skilled craftspeople and seating artists build and maintain the sets that are used in our sound stages and outdoor locations. They also do all the scenery and props for all shows and attractions right here at Walt Disney World. Our production companies like to shoot on location, but they can't control the noise, the traffic, the crowds, and certainly not the weather. So sometimes they like to shoot their movies on backlots, just like ours. Backlots also serve as a storage area for large props, two of which you may see to your left. And those are the bone cages from Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. You may recall that Orlando Bloom was imprisoned in one of those bone cages. Now, all major studios have backlots, and that's where they like to store large props for use in future productions. And they always call them bone yards, and we're no exception. Coming up on your left is one of our bone yards. If you look to your left, you'll see a steamroller from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, starring Bob Hoskins and Christopher Lloyd. Following that is a black gondola from Casanova, starring Heath Ledger and Sienna Miller. And after that, we have two model aircraft, the first of which was used in Flight Plan, starring Jodie Foster. The second one, the name of it is written right there on the nose when you go by. It's called the Jailbird from Con Air, starring Nicolas Cage and John Malkovich. And we have two motorcycles from Indiana Jones, the Last Crusade. And then they saw some action in our own epic spectacular for about 6 years, and then they were finally retired to the Boneyard, where you see them now. Now, if you look over here to your left, you will see split personality Herbie, and I'll be talking a bit more about him later. But if you look to your right, you see this round gray thing here. That's the back of one of our standing sets, simply one that's not broken down, that's used over and over again. A production crew's been in there filming a TV commercial and documentary, I'm not sure which, but they've been testing some special effects, and they've been telling us it's off limits to our tour, but we just got that green light, which means the coordinators told Joe that it's okay to go on the set. So if it's okay to go on the set, let's do that and have a look around, shall we? Now, the set was built in 1989, so we have to go on to an old bridge. And that requires you to keep a firm grasp on all of your personal property, all of your small children, and any unruly adults that you may be seated next to. Now, the canyon you're about to see is modeled after a real canyon in the Mojave Desert in Southern California. Our canyon took 6 months to build. Now, that may seem like a long time, and indeed it is. So when you compare that with the length of time took for Mother Nature, we took the real canyon, now it's not all that bad. Now, you remember the boneyard I was showing you, the props we have in there? Now, if you look to your left, you'll see one of those props. Well, we couldn't very well have driven a snake truck across the ravine, so we had to have a production crane lift it up and over the back wall of our canyon in place where you see it now. And very so carefully. I'm going to pick up your stop up here, and then we can opportunity to take pictures of our canyon without all that annoying bumpiness, and it also gives me an opportunity to tell you that above your head, where you cannot see, we have special platforms, and that's where our camera crew set up their cameras and they shoot down into our canyon to achieve the particular scene that they're looking for. Now, when you came into our park sometime this morning, you noticed It wasn't raining in Central Florida, but we can make it rain in our canyon just like that with high pressure nozzles above your head. The spread water out in a crisscross pattern with the warming wheels. Our camera can only take it 2 dimensions, so you see through the screen, and it makes it look like it's raining throughout the whole thing, but really it's only raining on the old 80s. You said we could be here. We don't need the earthquake to do thinking that I can shut down. Right now we're out here. Say hello. When they're not listening to me. So we want you to remain seated. Smile for the camera. You're going to now you know why it is that we call this catastrophe, and so what did you think, gang, huh? Alrighty, it looks like we're all clear, so I'm asking Joe to take us right on out of this canyon. I want to go through another episode of Catastrophe Canyon. You know, folks, I had no idea that was going to happen. I'm here by the time for a minute. Take a good look at our screen from this side. We go around the back side. Go look like the one. Our canyon is essentially a large-scale framework over which we have a wire-dimensional layer of colored concrete, which is hand sculpted to make it look like natural rock formations. The small yellow pipes flow. Visitors like you. Off to your right is a turboprop aircraft that is near and dear to the hearts of all of us here at Walt Disney World. It was known as, throughout the United States, as the November 234 Mickey Mouse, or simply affectionately known here as the Mouse. It was Walt Disney's private aircraft to use it to ferry himself and his Imagineers from California to New York near the end of the planning stages of the New York's World's Fair in 1964. He also used it to scout out locations in Central Florida for what we now know to be Walt Disney World. And that is split personality Herbie. He has a cameo role in our Extreme Fun Show Lights Motors Act. And as you can plainly see, he's beside himself right now, and we hope he gets himself pulled together for himself, so he does a good job when he goes on his way. Now, I may have to shut up for a while because these guys are pretty loud over here, and they're doing what they call the ballet. You get a sneak preview. They're practicing right now. All righty. And we're going by the second standing set. That is called Villefranche-sur-Mer, and that is French for Village of Loud Cars. You get to be part of the filming process. You're right there on set when they film this high-octane stunt show, and there it goes. I couldn't do that any better myself. All right. The vehicles that are used in our stunt show are using what we call acceleration alley. Remember all the tires I showed you? Boom, that's where they go. And the car that you just saw do that spin, that's a European Opel with a specially made 1300cc motorcycle engines that deliver 150 horsepower. And there he is right there. And he did a high-speed 180-degree turn. There he goes. And they do a high-speed 180-degree turn like you just saw towards this back fence. Look like they're going to go through it, but they never do. And then they accelerate down the alley towards the set. They reach 55 to 60 miles an hour in a little less than 2 city blocks. And when they're together back here, they're doing this door handle to door handle. A word of caution to all of you, don't try this at home. Over here is our second boneyard. The green missile canisters are from the film The Rock. The mausoleum is from Haunted Mansion. The small trailer and Humvee are from Mighty Joe Young. That is the Acme Waste Disposal Truck from 101 Dalmatians. And that is Max, the space pod from Flight of the Navigator. You Star Wars fans will recognize the Sand Skip from Return of the Jedi and the Snows Meter from Empire Strikes Back. That yellow submersible and helicopter, they were both from Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, starring Bill Murray, and that is number 53. That's Demolition Derby Herbie from Herbie Fully Loaded, and that big red space pod there. That's the escape pod from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and why it has windshield wipers on it, I don't have a clue. The two remaining trips are also from one event. Now we come around to the backside of Field Charleston Manor. Looks a little bit different back here. We got gray girders, gray steel, and all that. The reason for that is you may recall my telling you that the camera can only take in 2 dimensions, so it only films what it sees. And that is the front side. Don't need the back side. These are called facades or false fronts. And it's an old movie trick which we call saving lots and lots of money. Now again, you've just gotten a real good sneak preview for our Lights, Motors, Action. We have 3 shows today. The first one is at 11:50. If you're from the Midwest like I am, that's 10 minutes to do. The second one is 2:45, or from the Midwest, that's 2:45. The last one is at 5:30. In case you're wondering where you enter, is right over here to your right. Right through this real small sign that you can just barely see. Try to get there a little bit before the show time to make sure you get a seat. In fact, right after this tour would be appropriate. Now, as we come around the corner right here, we've got another thing for you to see. We have the Power Rangers right here on the streets of New York. And as you can plainly see, they are saving the universe from villainy with one pose, one photograph, and one autograph at a time. How they're able to do that, I really don't know. Now we're coming to the end of our tour, but we have one more must-see attraction. It is the AMI Showcase. Villains, the movie characters you just love to hate, and the films that made them infamous. It is a must-see attraction because you have to see it to leave our attraction and go out to the rest of the park. You must exit through these sliding glass doors up here by me. Now I know I can speak for Joe as I speak for myself when I say to each and every one of you, it has been a distinct pleasure having